So I had a guy call me recently who said, Andrew, I set up my offshore company, but I haven't been able to enjoy the benefits of it. In fact, he said, I've spent over $200,000 in needless taxes in the last 10 months for one reason. I can't get a bank account. I'm going to tell you why this happens and how to avoid it in this video. I'm Andrew Henderson, and this gentleman called me. He, like so many folks, thought he did everything right. He researched the best jurisdiction. In his case, it was Hong Kong. It's a common jurisdiction that people go to thinking that, hey, I'm going to a high-quality country. Everything's going to be easy. I'll set up my offshore company, and I'll be operating in no time. Now, this guy was a U.S. citizen, so he really needed to move his business overseas to this company because he was paying over $20,000 in taxes every month. And worse yet, the business was growing. So every month that number got bigger. So he set up the Hong Kong company, and what the incorporator, the people who he found online, said was, hey, we can get you an account at HSBC. Now, this is a common thing that people in Hong Kong will say. And it's common in a lot of different places where the incorporator has this alleged relationship with one particular bank. They send you off to the bank and they expect it to be easy. In the case of Hong Kong, HSBC has long stopped opening accounts for most folks. The rare few people that they will take, not only do they want a very high deposit from, but as part of HSBC's de-risking, I've personally seen dozens of businesses being shut down, having their accounts frozen. It's just not a solution that really works anymore, and it's caused me to hate HSBC. But this isn't just limited to Hong Kong. What people will do is they'll say, hey, open a company and we'll send you off to talk to this guy. They don't really understand your business. They don't understand the business plan. They don't understand exactly what's going on. They just say, hey, we have a guy and it works sometimes. And in the case of this HSBC example, it really doesn't work anymore. It's just something that worked 3 or 5 years ago that they're still trotting out because these incorporators aren't really updating their strategies. Now, the reality is that there are plenty of banks that will take people with Hong Kong companies or BVI companies or whatever kind of companies, even if you're a U.S. citizen, which makes it a bit more difficult, but not impossible. In fact, our team keeps a spreadsheet of over 300 banks in more than 50 countries around the world that accepts not only individuals, but accepts companies, and we update it all the time. But the challenge is that most folks don't know, hey, if I've got a Hong Kong company, I can bank over here, or I can bank over here, or over here instead, or which are the best banks. People think they're stuck in one country, or they're not really sure where to go. And so a couple things that are important when it comes to making sure that your business can operate. Number one, the country where you're operating matters. If you're opening a Hong Kong company, that may be decent because there may be some banks that will take you, but Hong Kong banks themselves are probably not going to be very interested unless you're living there and paying tax in Hong Kong. That's just what they've done in recent years. So you need a strategy that makes sure that the jurisdiction you select has options that work for your tax residence and for your citizenship. All those things really need to work together. But the bigger issue in this guy's case was that even if we were to get him a bank account, which wouldn't really have been that difficult, it's that he needed a merchant account. He needed PayPal to collect money from his customers. He was selling stuff online. So if you're just doing consulting or you're doing affiliate marketing and you've got 1 or 2 customers just wiring money to your bank account, it's not that difficult to find a bank account. Obviously, you want to find one that's going to work for you long term, not going to shut you down. But you can find a bank account, people can wire the money, and you can take it from there. But if you're doing business online, you're collecting payments from Visa, MasterCard, crypto, PayPal, whatever the case may be, where's that money? How's that money going to get into the bank account? So really, it's an issue of your corporate structure, then your bank account, which can be a tough step in and of itself, then how you collect the money, whether it's merchant, PayPal, what have you. So, a BVI, for example, doesn't really have a very good PayPal facility. BVI companies just can't go to a United States merchant bank and get a merchant account. They're largely left to high-risk merchant accounts. And so, in this guy's case, the issue was the bank account, but the next issue was going to be, well, nobody wants to deposit into my account. And I've seen this situation where someone will get a Seychelles company, and they'll get a high-risk merchant account, or somehow they'll get a way to collect their money, and then the account will be frozen because that bank will stop working with Seychelles companies. So it really all comes back to that top step, the foundation of where's your company set up and how are you allowing it to operate on a global level. it's one thing to have to figure out, how do you get the bank account itself, but getting money isn't, and it's challenging, especially as banks are doing this de-risking where they're saying, we don't want money from there, we don't want money from there, we're not sure we want to open you a merchant account. All these things need to be considered at the beginning, or else you're going to be in a situation like this where you get a company, but it's worthless if you can't even have banking. It's worthless if nobody can pay you. Sure, just a shell company can hold an asset, and people do that, but it's not really effective for an active business. And so you want to get all 3 steps and know those 3 steps are going to be before you take action, because that bank account or that merchant account might not work with your corporate structure, in which case you might just change the corporate structure from the beginning. Okay? There may also be an opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to be in the BVI, but I want to sell to the UK, for example. So I'm going to have a system where a BVI company and a UK company work together, or a US company. I'm going to have some kind of more complicated structure that gives me the best of both worlds. That works for some people, but not for others. It's impossible to diagnose what's going to work for you on a video. It really depends on how many payments you're receiving, from where, but what I can tell you is, don't be like this American gentleman who set everything up and then couldn't use it. Make sure you think of all those 3 steps from the beginning, and if you do it together, you'll be fine. I'm Andrew Henderson, and if you're looking for a way to legally reduce your taxes, build your freedom, and create wealth faster as a global citizen, then you've come to the right place. I want you to do 3 things right now. Number 1, click the button to subscribe to our channel. Make sure to get notifications so you never miss a new video. Number 2, get a copy of our #1 best-selling book, Nomad Capitalist, on Amazon, and learn all the dozens of benefits of our lifestyle. And number 3, if you're already a 6 or 7-figure entrepreneur and you want to put these strategies in place, go to nomadcapitalist.com and find out how to get some help.